I know that you want to know what all great singers do, and that's what we're going to talk about today. 10 things that great singers do. Before I dive in deep, I want to remind you that I'm opening up my masterclass on September 2nd. You can get on the waiting list by going to the link that I have linked up below. And if you are interested in having me as your personal vocal coach over the course of 4 months to really supercharge your singing, the masterclass could be exactly what you needed. All right, what is something? What are the things that great singers do that I have seen in common? Number one, and this for me is the baseline for everything, is pitch control. A great singer is one who really has great pitch accuracy and isn't sharp or flat, but has learned to be so good at pitch control. This is something we always must work on. And undoubtedly, experience really helps, but also ear training is often underestimated. It's so beneficial for singers to tune your ear, to really hear those fine tunings, and that's what it's all about. Number two is an accuracy in everything you do. Is there vibrato or not? How is the phrasing? Is there an accent here? Is it softer? Is it louder? Is there tight vocal cord closure? Is it slight breathiness? Is it in falsetto or is it in full head voice? Is it more or less tilted into head voice? Is it low and relaxed or is it low and powerful? Hearing all those details helps you to actually sing it right. Before you don't hear it, that you can't possibly actually do it yourself. Always continue educating yourself and your musical ear. The next thing is paying attention to the microcosmos. It's those little details of, does that pitch start out with a glottal attack? Does that pitch start loud and then get soft like, yeah, 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 fly me to the moon and let me sing among the stars? Or is it held all the way? Does it start with vibrato and then add vibrato? There's a lot of little details that happen as you're holding a pitch or as you're breathing. Is there a sound in the breath that is important for communicating what the meaning of the song is? I love you and I'm desperate to get you back. My breath will be different. Paying attention to all those minor details, that microcosmos, as I call it, is so important. And actually, once you really start paying attention to these things, you have a feeling like, wow, there's like all these endless possibilities of what I can do. I think it becomes a lot more fun. It does become more challenging also, but it's so much more fun to actually pay attention to those details and to try doing them. The next thing is phrasing. A great singer does have phrasing and doesn't sing just through and just sing pitches. Just singing pitches is something that is a very basic level, but singing in a very musical way that communicates tension and release, that has this tension and then resolves. For example, when you're going from a dominant seventh, resolving into the tonic. Oh, yeah. Where is the climax? Where is the release? It's really important to phrase accordingly. Instead of, don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is I never left you. All through my wild days, my mad existence, I kept my promise. Don't keep your distance. Not great phrasing. Don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is I never left you. All through my wild days, my mad existence, I kept my promise. Don't keep your distance. Really phrasing in a way that makes sense musically and when it comes to the actual content of the song and what you want to communicate. The next thing great singers know how to do is create different voice colors and to manage voice colors. Sometimes you want to sound a little darker. It's like da everybody da 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 from where da da when we were young, when we were young. Or, because you know I'm all about that bass, no trouble. I'm all about that bass, no trouble. Or, I've got no roots, but my home was never on the ground. I've got no roots, but my home was never on the ground. I've got no roots. Or, some say love, it is a river that drowns the tender reed. Voice colors make a huge difference. Some say love, it is a river. I've got no roots, but my home was never on the ground. I've got no roots, but my home. Wrong voice colors, right? It gives the song a totally different meaning. The next thing a great singer knows how to do is breathe properly. Meaning, breathing deeply when you have time and breathing quickly when you don't have time, but yet it's still deeply. Breathing and posture is such a prerequisite for anything and everything you could do in singing. It really helps you to have the right placement and to have the power, to have compression. So important to have that breath control and support. The next thing that kind of ties in with that is, and I talked about this already, is giving the breath a meaning and an emotion. I will breathe differently depending on what I'm communicating. When I'm really agitated, my breath is different than when I'm really nice and relaxed. So it's more like, let the sky fall when it crumbles. We can stand tall and face it all together. Different than, je veux de l'amour, de la joie, de la bonne humeur. Ce n'est pas votre argent qui fera mon bonheur. Moi je veux crever la main sur le cœur. Allons ensemble découvrir ma liberté. Oubliez donc tous vos clichés. Bienvenue dans ma réalité. Different breath. Ich war noch niemals in New York. Ich war noch niemals auf Hawaii. Nie atemlos durch die Nacht, wenn der neue Tag erwacht. Atemlos, schwindelfrei, großes Kino für uns zwei. So every genre and every song will require slightly different sound of breath while always still breathing deeply and openly. There is still a lot of range of variation of what this breath can sound like. Oh, the next thing is a big pet peeve of mine, controlling vibrato. Having too much vibrato is just as bad as having none at all when it is appropriate. Most genres do incorporate vibrato as a stylistic tool, and also it does help your voice relax a little. So it's not so much on tension because there's a slight oscillation. It really helps relax a little bit more. But controlling the vibrato, how wide is it? How fast is it? Is it there all the time or not? So, and I will always love you. Different, not like you would want it to be. And I will always love you. Using vibrato as a stylistic tool to where it sounds musical, so important. And lastly, the two last points are good singers, great singers, continuously want to improve their technique. They always work on something. They're always aware of something. They always listen consciously. They always want to learn from great singers. They always want to be inspired and try out new things, to not stand still, but to continue growing all the time. Oh my goodness, I've been singing for decades professionally, and I'm constantly still learning all the time, and my voice is still growing, and I'm still getting stronger. So it doesn't matter how long you've been doing it, you always have room to improve. And lastly, most great singers I know always have a coach. They don't stop They don't say, well, now I know it all and I'm going to be great. The best tennis player in the world, the best pianist in the world, they still have teachers and coaches who coach them through, because the truth is there's always bad habits creeping in. I get coaching and I perform professionally all the time, but I sit down and really try to fix issues or get better and really polish up on some of the sloppy things that crept in. And I just get sloppy because we get lazy and we just try to look for the easiest way. So having a coach to get you to push yourself out of your comfort zone, to fix those things, to not get sloppy, so important. And all the great singers I know, they do have coaches and they continually have someone help them. It doesn't mean every day, but every once in a while, you need someone to check up on you. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment below what you have found out about one of your favorite singers. What do they do that you think makes them really great? And again, don't forget, the link is below for my masterclass if you are interested to have me as your vocal coach for 4 months. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Makes me feel sad for the rest.